Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time of stopping by. Hello, you're highly welcome. Please consider subscribing to my channel. To my old subscribers, I say thank you very much for all your support. So in today's video, we'll be making this lovely free boo gown, and this gown is for me, not for my princess, but you can also as well do it for your princess. So I'll be making use of our ankara, and then this black crepe fabric, and my ankara is 2.5 yards, and I'm a size 16. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this thing into two equal parts, the ankara into two equal parts, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold it again, making it four. So we are cutting our back and our front bodies together. So when you look at it, you see that the ankara is folded into four. I'm starting from the folded part because you want your centers to be folded. So the first thing I did is to mark out the rough edge, the label on the ankara, and then from the folded part, I'm going to go ahead and take my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and from there I'm going to take from the shoulder I just marked, I'm going to take my armhole length for my sleeve length, I mean. So my sleeve, I don't want it to have a long sleeve, so I marked at 9, but you can mark as long as you want or as short as you want. And then for my neckline, I marked 3.5 for the width and then 1.5 for the depth. I'm marking my back neckline first before we'll go ahead and then separate it to mark our front neckline, and I made a curve to give it a round neck. Then from my shoulder line, I'm going to go ahead and mark 10 inches down for my sleeve opening. You can mark up to 11 inches if you are bigger than me, or if you can mark less than, depending on how wide or slim you want your armhole to be. But for me, I marked at 10 inches. Then from the shoulder line as well, I'm going to go ahead and then mark my hip measurement, hip line, and my hip line I marked at 26 inches, and then I'm going to make a straight line for that. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my hip measurement divided by 4, and I'm going to go ahead and add extra 4.5 inches for ease, and then for stitching allowance you can add up to 5 inches or 6 inches depending on how big or small that you are. You can add 3.5 inches as well. So I'm going to go ahead and connect from my armhole line to my hip line, and then I'm going to go ahead and then mark 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and then I'll connect it to my neckline. So I decided to make it to curve my around my bust area in a little bit, just like I just did now. And the next thing I did is to then mark my full length, and for my full length is above my knee. I marked at 40 inches, at 41 inches, at 14 inches, and then I added 2 inches allowance to join it. Why I'm saying 14 inches is because I reduced it by 1 inch afterwards. So I marked at 40 inches. I wanted it shorter than 41. And that's all for this for now. I hope you are enjoying this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you do. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. We make beautiful styles on this channel for our princesses and then for our beautiful mommies. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the two neckline the same. So after cutting the two bodies together, I'm going to remove any of them can serve as the front or the back. At this moment I just removed one, and then this remaining one is going to be in my front bodies. So I'm going to go ahead and arrange the neckline properly, and then we're going to go ahead and mark our neckline for the front. And for this front neckline, I'm going to, from my shoulder line, mark 10 inches downward, 10 inches downward. Then at that 10 inches, I'm going to go in by 1 inch from the center front. Then with my ruler, I'm going to connect from that 1 inch to meet my neckline, my 3.5 inches neckline that I marked. Remember, you're not going to tamper with that 3.5. If you do, it's going to affect the back neckline. So I'm going to go ahead and then cut this out. And this is our front neckline. This is how it's going to look when you are done cutting it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to arrange the front and the back together, arrange it well, arrange the shoulder. You can stitch this down without pinning in, but for me, if you have been pinning your fabrics down before stitching it, you will know that it goes a long way to help the work. So I'm going to pin the two shoulders together and then go to my sewing machine to stitch it down. So this is it after I was done stitching it down, and this is our neckline. I'm going to open it up for you guys to see how it's looking. This is how the neckline is going to be is looking. So the next thing we are going to do is to measure the fabric we are going to attach to the neckline, and we are starting from the edge, from where we marked our 1 inch, and not from the center neckline, just where I showed you guys. We are going to mark to measure all around to the other side of it. And for me, I have about 29.5 inches. So this is the fabric I cut out for it. For the length, for the width I have 4 inches, and then for the length I have a little bit above the 29.5 inches. I just want to be on the safe side. After attaching it, you can then trim the excess off. And the fabric I use is a little bit stretchy. If you have a firm fabric, I think it's advisable to use that one. This stretchy fabric is a little bit difficult to work with. And to attach this, if when you look at this video, as that when I'm making this video, I attach this at the wrong side of my fabric. You can see my shoulder line, but please, if you want to attach it, you are going to, the way I just place this, the black fabric is the same way you're going to place it, but you're going to place it at the front side of the fabric of your bodies. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Just the way I'm placing it down now, you're going to place it the same way, but at the front side. So by the time you stitch it down, you're just going to just flip it over and close the rough edges. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm going to show you guys at the point I realized my mistake. And so nobody's above mistake, but I'm just trying to make you guys, or get you guys not to make the same mistake I made. So I'm going to go ahead and then stitch the neckline all around, and then for my sleeve I'm going to fold this, the rough edges, and then stitch it down and do the same thing for the other side. And this is it after I was done stitching it down. At this point, I haven't realized the mistake. Seriously, I don't know why I didn't realize this even at this point, but something was wrong when I was trying to adjust the neckline. It wasn't giving me what I want. So you're going to go ahead and press it down when you fix it well, and then cut out the excess. So for this fabric, I have 11 inches by 11 inches by 11 inches. That's 11 inches all around. It's just like a square. So for this, I'm going to just cut out about 2.5 inches for this, just to give it a little bit of design. If you like, you can just leave it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and then fold by ½ inch all around and iron it down, but because of the fabric I'm using, it keeps moving. It doesn't want to stay down, so I'm going to go ahead and use my hemming gum to hold the fabric down. It's a stretchy fabric, so that's why it's doing like that. So I'm going to hold it down by ½ inch with my with my hemming gum, and then iron it down. So this is it after I realized my mistake. While I was trying to hold the neckline, it wasn't giving me what I want, so I decided to use a hemming gum to hold it down. Before I've already started doing it, before I realized that there's something really wrong with the neckline, and then I had to check again and then discover the mistake. So I pulled everything out. That's the color that you're seeing on the black fabric. So I just turn it to the other side to close it. So you see the neckline laying flat the way it's supposed to be, but when I fixed it wrongly, it was pulling and going up. So I cut out the rough edges, and you can see for this design I have already lay it flat with my hemming gum. So at this point, you can play with this fabric, with this piece anywhere you want. You can place it this way, you can place it anyhow you want to do it. Just play around with it and place it the way you want. And for me, I'm going to go with this design. I think this design, this the way I place it is one of the most popular one now. I don't know if that's the same reason why I did mine as well, but for me, I'm going to place it this way. Then I'll pin it all around to keep. You don't want to keep sewing and it will keep moving. It's not going to come out nice. Just pin it all around before stitching it down. It's going to make the work easier for you. And because I used a stretchy fabric, it was kind of difficult when stitching it down, so I keep making emphasis on this stretchy fabric. If possible, please use a fabric that is not stretchy. And this is it after I was done stitching it down. To get your own to have two different colors, like if you see the back of my own, you see that the color of the thread is yellow there. What you will do is to place the to place the yellow or a different color at the shuttle for the down stitching, and then a different color for the upper or the up of the mesh top of the machine for you or for your upper stitches. I hope you understand. So I went ahead to stitch the two side with my allowance that I want, depending on how free or fitted you want it to be. And then I went ahead to turn in my rough edges to stitch it down to hem it anyway. And that's all for this time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.